I don't have any real responsibilities in my life, so I figured, hey, it's time to travel and discover something new. So I've loved the French language since I was in middle school, and I remember still that night I spoke to Professor Remy, and I was telling her how much I wanted an experience abroad in France, and then she was able to put me in contact with Mr. Ngo, and after talking to him and discovering this program, I figured this was the best option for me. It has been definitely a growing experience for me. It's also given me a lot of experience in regards to professional experience. What I do here, what I had to learn myself to be able to teach English. I work in elementary school. I actually work in 3 different schools, but it's all the, I guess, elementary schools from kindergarten to 5th grade. And just so you have a reference, as I mentioned earlier, the map of France, here in the middle you have, well, up north you have Paris, but the darker green section on the green map, that's the actual region where I'm at, La Nouvelle-Aquitaine, and then Les Landes, the department on the blue side, on the blue map, that's the actual department that I'm in here in France. And the school where I teach, it's actually out there. It's kind of weird to call it a village because it doesn't look like one in this image here, but it's a pretty small place. It is a very rural area. Agriculture is a big thing. The raising of farm animals, as well as the growing of some, well, like corn, wheat, and whatnot. On the map on the right, I don't know if you can see it, it's Saint-Cévé, right in the middle. That's the village where I teach. The 3 schools are there. And then up a little bit north of that, you'll see the bigger city, which is Mont-de-Marsan. That's where I'm actually staying. I do commute. I'm one of the few assistants here because I met the other assistants there. Well, the other English-speaking assistants. No, that's a lie. I met one more Spanish-speaking assistant and 3 English assistants, 2 from the UK and my fellow assistant from the US. And we're all teaching at different schools. Most of them are located in the main city here in Mont-de-Marsan, so they get to walk if they want to their schools. I do have to take a 20-minute bus, but I enjoy it. It's great. Let me see if I can show you. So every morning when I get to work, this is right in front or 1 block away from where I work. It's the Abbey. It's a beautiful place. It's kind of like a museum if you go inside. Yeah, it's great to know like that there's so much culture, so much history. A lot of these buildings, date back from the year 1500 or even older. So that's another perk to being here, or being, I guess, anywhere you go in France, there's something to see. But for me, when I have downtime, when I'm not working, although we have COVID going on and moving through regions is kind of hard right now, you do get to discover a lot of the local spots. So I love doing that on my days off, just walking around with the other American assistant that's here. Let's see. And these are just a couple more images. The one that you see on your left is actually an image or a picture that I took from school. So that's the view outside the window from my school. And then La Dour, which is the river that runs about less than a kilometer away from where I'm at. It's really a beautiful place, and it's a lot more beautiful now that we're finally hitting spring, because when I first got here, it was raining and it was nonstop. So gray days and umbrellas were my everyday. And And so let me show you a bit of the school. This is the hallway, the entrance to the school. This is one is actually called the school of the park. It's an elementary school. And that's because if you see the image on the right, that's actually a park right in front of the school. So this is usually where I'm at. That's because I have access to photocopiers. I have access to a lot of my resources here, textbooks and all kinds of other stuff that I need for teaching. This is what a classroom looks like at this school and at the other school as well where I teach. I got lucky this year because the Spanish teaching assistant was not able to come. They kind of bend the rules here, and they allowed me to teach Spanish half of the time and teach English half of the time. I am a certified interpreter, English, Spanish, so that was not an issue. I do enjoy it. The kids, to be honest with you, this school is actually, they've undertaken a program called CARDI, and the program is basically to expose children to 2 languages. They're looking to expand to 3 languages, that being Spanish, German, and English in the near future. But for now, they've always had Spanish and English assistants. So I was happy to be able to help them continue with that program, because had I only spoken English, then we only would have done, I guess, the English side of it, and they would have missed out on that program. So anyway, let me show you. This is one of my projects. And once again, it is bilingual because we teach English and Spanish here. So this board that you're looking at, it's entirely my work. and it's stuff like this that we leave in the classrooms. Like for every classroom that I work in, we leave resources and different materials as assistants. So it's really nice to leave a footprint. You learn a lot too. It's not just what you have to offer, but I learned, I'll show you later what, like, some of the stuff that we make here. Teaching smaller kids is pretty rewarding. It is what I wanted. For TAPIF, you do have the option of teaching older kids, like if you want to be placed in a middle school or a high school. For me, I don't know, it was my first time. I was a little, nervous when applying. I was like, I don't think I could teach older kids. I definitely don't want to deal with attitudes. I don't even know if that's a thing. That was just my biased way of thinking. So I decided to offer smaller kids. But it's amazing to see how quickly they acquire language at this age, and how much they retain, and how beautiful their pronunciation is. It's it's great. So that's kind of what motivates me to go to work. That's just another picture just to show you some more of what this is the library at the school. I did spend some time here. This is the teacher's lounge, and my goodness, the first few weeks that I was here, it was great because there were less restrictions. So I got to spend some time with my coworkers. Basically, all 12 of us would eat at the same table and share anecdotes, and just it was really amazing. Even now, every week we have a contest where somebody bakes something. I had to do crepes. It was my first time doing them, but my coworkers were really nice and everyone ate them and they complimented me on them. But I'm sure they weren't that great. But it's one of those things. You're exposed to the culture, so you get to do things that are very, very French. But yes, this is one of my favorite places in school. It's just it really does feel like a family, like eating all together, talking all the time, sharing stories. And then, of course, whenever I need help, it's usually where I come. I usually find a teacher here. Now, the image you're looking at on the left is the preschool where I taught, the kindergarten where I taught. Once again, I put an image here on the right of a bear. It's actually a puppet. That was another thing that I learned to do. And it's great with COVID because you wear a mask. So ventriloquism it wasn't really a skill I had to learn. It came naturally, and I get to talk through the puppet. It's a great technique. It's something I learned here. Um, let's see here. So just to show you, it's just a reference here. On the left, this is more the city where I'm staying at. I'm staying in a building, not one that you can see in this picture here. But as once again on the right, you can see the distance from Saint-Sévé in the middle to the actual city where I work and where I live. And let's see here. Christmas here was pretty awesome. Decorations and whatnot. It definitely felt more lively, more, I don't know, it felt more like Christmas. And just to show you a couple of delicacies or popular food items here in the southwest of France, things that I got to try, some for, well, all three of them actually for the first time. All the way on the right, on the top, you have the foie gras, which you probably heard of before, which is the duck or goose liver mousse or spread. It's pretty good. You usually accompany it with kiwi or passion fruit or some kind of sweet or sour fruit. For the most part, you can also do confiture if you like. In the middle, I am into pastries and bread is my passion. So this one's called pastis, like the apéritif, but it's actually, well, they do put liquor in the bread, but it's kind of like a brioche, panettone or panettone kind of bread, with hints of oranges and rum. It's a pretty delicious bread. And then the other thing that I got to try, I'm not so much an alcohol drinker or connoisseur, but I got to try the local Armagnac, and that is the local brandy. It's much tastier than brandy, definitely. So that's another awesome thing when you travel, when you're in France. They always ask me like, oh, what is like a popular California dish? And I'm always like, California rolls? But is that really from California? I don't know. It's just here in France, wherever you go, no matter what city you're in, there seems to be a dish or a food item or some kind of pastry or there's always something that represents the area. It's pretty cool. It's French people are very proud of their culture. You'll hear that all the time, and it's great. They're always happy to share that with you. And that's the end of my presentation for the PowerPoint. And then just a few more things just to